Hello, friends. I'm so excited to be back. And we have today a brand new launch of a new Facebook Live series, which we call Skin Deep with Uli. And the idea is to bring interesting women that join me in a conversation about health, climate, and life, all the things that matter. And today I have a very special guest because you always want to start with somebody very, very unique. And it is Margery Punnett. She's a very well-known radio host in the Midwest, but she has lived all over the country, produced many shows nationwide, and she's a lover of Friends. So we're going to connect on this one. But, she has a very interesting family principle that she lives by. And that is bring your best self home. That's actually a family principle. And she shared it with, our amazing Elizabeth Reese once when they were both, at Hubbard working on different projects. And Elizabeth immediately say, bring yourself best to the nest. And then Best to the Nest kind of was born in that moment. Now, these two ladies have a very successful podcast with the same name. And Margery is here with us. And we get started right now. Hello, Margery.
Hello, everybody. This is
How
wonderful.
are you?
I am great, and it's really nice to be here, and it's nice to be able to talk to all these people that I've never talked to before. And what a wonderful way to start! What a wonderful way to start Best to the Nest.
Yes.
And I will say that the story, the longer version of the story, actually started because I used to be a little bit cranky in the morning. When I first got married, I got married when I was very young. And so I would wake up and I would be a little bit cranky. I wouldn't want to talk to anybody, wouldn't want to do anything till I had my coffee. And my husband actually said, I feel like we're newlyweds, that we need to start something now, which is that we are our best selves to each other. And then, and even though you may not want to be the most friendly person in the morning, you should wake up and we should treat each other well. And that became our family ethos when we had two sons. And it was always about making sure that we didn't give everything else out to the world, that we made sure we saved enough so that when we came home, we were trying to. And it wasn't always perfect, but that was sort of, that's how we tried to live.
That's a wonderful, Margery. And just talking about relying on the coffee to wake up, that's the same thing for me. I'm from Austria, original Vienna. Women from Vienna without coffee, it's kind of like Dracula without blood. We don't survive. And so here's how my husband handled this. He gets up in the morning and brings me coffee. He doesn't even talk before. So he's not, I think he realized my limitations. So we are joined by wonderful, a wonderful crowd already here. Hello, Caroline, and Liz has joined us from Maple Grove, and Candice. Hello, and Frank from Long Beach, which is my husband, who I just talked about, my hubby. And we have Melissa from Montrose, beautiful name, and Deborah and Linda, and we have Becky. Hello, Becky. She's a wonderful friend of us. And actually, she thought that, Elizabeth will be here. But now it is actually we're not going to talk the better half, that these are so amazing halves. It's the other half of
the other half.
Yeah. And I'm sure, Becky, you're going to love her as much as you love Elizabeth. Well, Elizabeth is so unique and you know her so much. It's just a different, a different level. But I have to say, Margery, I fell so in love with you. And I'm so honored that, you join us on this Pour Moi journey as well. And we're going to have to join that with everybody once we talk a little bit more about, be yourself, your best self, and how, we always talk about we want to be authentic, but when you come
Yes.
home often, you feel like, your family is where you can be just yourself, but it's the exhausted yourself. It's the,
Right.
as you were saying, the crappy yourself, because, you had to put on the smile all day for
Right.
work, or, and that actually is really not you. So
Right.
it's not okay, so anybody having some stories or, questions, but I'm going to let Margery talk a little bit about, because, you are very, as a producer and radio host, you have very much looked into the, that self, the best self. You created an entire podcast about it. So you
Well,
really can share something with us.
I think for me, what was really, I have two boys that are now men, and what was really important to me, and what I felt was really important when we started our family. My husband and I were married for 6 years before we had children, and then we had children, and I always wanted to make sure that I would have no regrets, and I think that's part of Best to the Nest. But I also always had very stressful jobs. When they were very young, I used to work for the Oprah Winfrey Show. I was a freelancer, and then I worked at CNN. And I very quickly realized that I had to find a way to compartmentalize work and separate it from who I was when I came home, because I needed to make sure that I didn't bring the stress of those jobs home. And I was young and figuring it out, like most young working women are. I was still young and figuring out how to balance work and home.
Oh my
And
God, you worked for the Oprah show. That I had no idea.
I
That's
did.
amazing,
I did.
Margery.
Well, which was also, I would have to say, is part of, I was really lucky. I worked freelance for her company, which was wonderful, because I would take the work from her company when I could fit it into the family schedule. And so, and then I would always take summers off. And so I had summers off with the children. So it was actually quite a wonderful job to have while I had little children. But to be in that atmosphere and to be around somebody who's a seeker, which she was always trying to, I mean, her slogan was live your best life. And so I felt very fortunate to be around all of that energy as a young mother. It was very helpful. So I think all of us, if you're working outside the home or working in the home, it's always a balance of how do you preserve enough of yourself, enough of yourself, and then also take care of your family.
Yeah,
And not
no,
resent
it's
it.
not easy at all.
No,
I just
no.
want to say something about Oprah, because I just saw that on September 18th, and I don't know if that's Thursday or Friday, she's doing a big thing about AI. And it's going to be on ABC. And I think that will be very interesting for everybody to watch, because she's making this real question. Everybody talks about, AI, but what does it really mean for our life going forward?
Right.
And she said so many people are fearful, but that makes no sense, because it's going to come anyway. So you shouldn't fear it, because you can change this. And so I just want to call it out for everybody. If you have time, look it up on the schedule and watch it, because I'm sure she, she's so good as a storyteller and in explaining something that, people going to really understand where is AI really, what it really means for the next 10, 20 years to our lives, and how
I
it's
saw
going to change.
she had the guest list. I can't remember. I know Bill Gates is going to be on the show. She had some other
Really?
people, but it's all the top thinkers about AI. I
Yeah.
think that's a
Yeah.
great, I'm going to watch it.
I think so too. And coming to self-help is always, learn about yourself, which like AI is, learning, and it's now a machine learning that's not influenced by anything else, but it will never be like human, because, we are not logical. That's what the famous American writer says, fiction can never be as good as real life, because it doesn't follow any logic, real life,
That's true. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And, so machines, they think with all the logic in the world. Do not forget that humans not,
I feel that. I feel that.
And imagination, and, we put non logic into it. So, Yeah. And I think when it comes to skincare, when you take care of yourself and you are the best of yourself, you want to feel good about yourself. You want to
Right.
feel, you make, you are confident. And I think skincare, hair care, you're because, and this is the famous story I want to tell everybody. When I met Margery the first time, she was telling me that she was, for decades, you said, almost neglecting, her skin, and because of busy life, busy kids, and, all of it, in some ways, because you really never had time to look enough in the mirror.
Yep.
And then she told me the pandemic came, Zoom calls, and you have always your little, like right now, we have our picture up.
Here
And
I
so now
am.
you are staring at yourself all day. And she's like, oh my God, this woman is like my age. Her skin looks so much better. I'm going to have to do something. And then she
Yeah.
tried, Elizabeth's advice of climate smart skincare. And, and so I'm going to let you share your story, of your experience with it. But it was a wonderful story of how you discovered Pour Moi.
Well, I honestly think that when we're in our 20s and 30s, at least my generation, I'm 60, I'm going to be 61. My generation, you take your skin for granted. You don't think about, or at least I didn't think about it in my 20s and 30s. I just didn't. And not even really in my 40s so much. I mean, and so I think what's been really interesting is I was a producer at a PBS station in Arizona. I was producing television. And so I'm always running around, doing shoots, not thinking too much. I just want to get the show on the air. And then they shut down production because of COVID.
Yeah.
And so I immediately came to Manhattan, Kansas, where my husband was. And suddenly all my meetings are remote. I can't shoot. I can't go out and shoot, but I still have meetings. I'm still working. And that was the moment that you're talking about. It's like I had never spent so much time looking at my own face, because I just really, I've never worn a lot of makeup. So I think if you don't wear a lot of makeup, that just takes you don't look in the mirror. There's a reason to. You sort of get dressed, you kind of go. And so suddenly I'm in these Zoom meetings like, wait a second, that's me? And so it was an awakening. It was an awakening.
Yeah. And, I can see that you have boys, because everybody here will tell you from their daughters and maybe granddaughters that now the generation starts, the girls with 11 care about their skin. There's a whole entire new trend. And it's, we are not targeting teenagers at all, because, if you take too much skincare, you disencourage the natural moisturization process of the skin. So, and it has been an alarming rate of more people going to dermatologists, because everybody is just doing way too much, having like 12 steps to their skincare, and, using a lot of products instead of, using very little. So encouraging your skin to do its own moisturization process. And so Climate Smart, as is from the Lyon, and you spent some time there, and you're a big French lover. The French Alp water is considered the most mineral and rich water in the world. It goes over all these stones in the Alps.
Right.
And so it has all these, minerals and electrolytes and all the good stuff in it naturally. And it's a very rare resource, So Pour Moi is already developed with water conscious formulas. So they are very, very strong, and you need very little. And because they are, they create a weightless, breathable film within your skin, like a second skin, that slows down oxidation. So now you can really do something against sign of aging, and at the same time retains the moisture in the skin by the climate you are in. So it really, helps with that optimal hydration. And so when you feel any kind of, buildup on your skin, it means you use too much, but it also means at the same time Pour Moi is working, because it gets you this film forming in the second hand. And all good skincare, premium skincare, works the same way. So if you buy, another brand and you feel build up, don't think it's a bad product. It means you use too much. Pour Moi is just the only product in the world that gives you exactly the film you need for the climate you are in. So you have better protection than anything else because it's patent protected. And that's how, you should treat your skin. But Margery, we are dying to hear some of your special, what your favorite products are, and some of your tips and tricks of how you use Pour Moi. And I think we're getting already some questions. Ooh, there you go. I actually, with all the products too.
I love this product. This is the Botanical Reversal Mask. Love this. I use this regularly. Can you see it? And then, but beyond that, there it is, and it smells so good. It smells so good. And then, of course,
it's real jasmine and real jasmine petals. I don't know if you know that. So what you see here, and they are not in for decoration. They are in because they, locking the active ingredients that really help you against the blue light, that emanates out of the screens. So they are an additional delivery system while they deliver an amazing smell and experience,
it's the loveliest product. And I think for most of us now, I'm a student at Kansas State University. Yeah, it's wonderful. And it feels so good when you put it on your skin. It just feels good. But I'm a student at Kansas State University, so I'm getting my master's. And
back to school. You're so good, Margery. Good for you.
But it means I'm in front of the computer all the time. I'm either doing research or I'm studying or I'm writing. And then if I'm doing the podcast, I'm in front of the screen all the time. So this has been one of my go-to sort of special pamper kind of products because I know that it's protecting me from the blue light. But what's also great about it, and I think this is one of the things, and of course I love this too. I love the body cream. It smells so good too. But Ulli and I have talked about this. For me, what Pour Moi has really done is it's given me a ritual. It's given me a habit of self-care. And for me, that's what I really love about it. I love what it does for my skin. I've lived in so many different climates. I've lived in the desert. I live in Kansas now where it's very humid. I've lived in Minnesota.
Yes. Yeah, where it's very humid. Is it cool humid or is it hot humid in Kansas right now?
Well, it's been telling me, it changes day to day. Honestly, It's been so strange. So I've been using the temperate for the last 2 days. Yeah, but then sometimes it's tropical.
Yeah, no, because that's the heat, the global heat, it's so much more warmer. So it's hot and humid. Yes.
Yeah. So I do my little QR code, so I know what to do. But what's really, I think this is what's been great about this skincare routine in particular. One, what you talked about, it not feeling too heavy on my face. I love the way it feels. So I don't feel, it just feels good. But more than that, it's such a simple process. And in doing it, I know that I'm taking care of myself, and I know it makes me feel better. It just makes me feel better. So that's the easiest thing in the world.
That's wonderful. That makes me so happy because that's why I created it. I created it because, we didn't really see any more better results with skincare. I'm in the industry for a long time. And I realized, the ingredients are so incredible. The technology is incredible. But there was something that wasn't really working. And just talking in the spirit of the Olympics, when you have the high jump, we always, for years, we jumped straight forward and people would have like very little difference. Right. And then, what's it called? The flobbery flop, what was the athlete who turned around and flipped from the bag and had 2 feet he gained, not like a half inch. Right. And just by turning around and jumping over it, and it became the new standard because, they could just not improve by standing, straight forward. So that's how Pour Moi is. It's kind of like that flop that you use. But Nancy just had a question and said, does this skincare line also reduce wrinkles? And yes, it does all the wrinkles that are created from weathered skin. And I always show my hands. So Nancy, on this hand, I use Climate Smart skincare. And on this hand, I don't. So I do it to show people that you get real results.
Well, and I didn't do it on half of my face. I use it on all of my face. So, but what I will say is I have, when I was a child, I had lots of freckles. I'm very fair skinned, so I had lots of freckles. And then as an adult, the freckles aren't so charming anymore because they really become sort of a combo freckle age spot. And so
well, they get bigger, and that you're right. They're like more likely to, be damaged.
So it's not like a little. Yeah, it's not a little smattering. It's more. And what I've noticed with Pour Moi, what it's done for me is those are slowly fading away, and I have a much more consistent tone to my skin, which I love. Oh, I like this from Liz.
I know. Thank you, Liz. Yes.
So do we read these out loud, Ulli?
Yeah, please read it. Yes.
Well,
with my German accent, I'm always worried about I'm scaring everybody when I read it out loud. But you have such a beautiful voice.
Well, oh no, you have a wonderful voice, Ulli. I just love Liz starts with I agree with Margery. Who doesn't love a little note like that? The Pour Moi system is the only one that I have stayed with consistently, and I feel like that I am taking credit of myself and putting my best face forward. And I think that's really, there's really truth to that. And I don't know if we have a lot of nesters here, but thank you, Liz. If you're a nester, if you listen to Best of the Nest, you know that my husband passed away in December. And that's really, she said, I think.
Here she said she sounded the frozen, and we're just going to check with Sarah. Okay. Sarah, can you give us, Pour Moi, can you give us a little bit shout out that everything works? Or can you give us a sum up? That you can see us, or are we frozen for you too? I think she's looking right now. And oh, here we go. Frank told me the frost very flop that you go from the bag. Thank you, sweetheart. So thank you, Sarah. Sarah gave us the 2 thumbs up, and I'm just going to repeat it again in the case, before I was talking about how Pour Moi is really the concept from just because the Olympic Games were this year. So it's a good, it was so wonderful. Everybody I talked about it loved it and watched it. So with the high jump, you jump straight forward. That's what we did for, I don't know, 100 years or, how long this was. And then, Fosbury came and he just turned around right before and jumped over it and got like 2 feet on it. And it's just the method that he changed the sport. And so Pour Moi is just thinking differently, applying the best technology ingredients, and it created extraordinary results. And just, and I was able to get one of the top manufacturer and laboratory in the world that really works for the top companies, especially at that time, when they developed Pour Moi. I don't think they had a product that was sold under $500 that they were creating. They started working for us to create a line that was affordable because Climate Smart, to bring luxury skincare from Europe that is really top quality and make it accessible so everybody can enjoy it, because it's insane to pay $500 for a bottle of a moisturizer, because it's always going to stay on the surface of your skin. And it's the environment and, how you protect yourself against the environment is really how it works. And, talking about the environment, I'm going to show you something that happened yesterday here in Upland, in, where we are. And it is, the wildfires came all the way down. This is the Pour Moi office. This is our office park. And you could see that the sun is coming back here. And, and then you had the, 25 miles away, you can see already that they are going all the way up to the wind tunnels, and that will be the smoke that carries now thousands for miles, all these, smoke particles. So, these kind of environments with the wildfire smoke now, I think we have 14 really big fires right now in California that are burning. Nevada is, many fires as well. I think Colorado is getting in line and starts burning too. So the South of Arizona has fires. It is a very, very concerning, reality of climate change. And in 2017, Margery, I was in France in December. And, I came home from the laboratory. We were working on still the climate smart skincare line to develop. And, I put the news on CNN and, everything else to see, because the Thomas fires were raging in California. And the Thomas fires were considered in 2017 the largest fires that have ever burned in the United States. And they are, called now these mega fires. And they are so large in size. They are going on for months and months and months. And they are going all the way up to the atmosphere, getting into this, tunnels, wind tunnels, and carry all over. So anyway, I was in France, where they reported on CNN Europe. It's a little bit different than the CNN, US. You see a little bit of a different CNN. In Ireland, actual physical particles came down on the ground, and they could particle identify the wildfires from California, based on the chemical thing, because, houses burn down and things. There's really, you can break this all down today and identify where the smoke particles come from. And I listened to this, and I really realized right there, it's not a local problem. It's not a California, Southwest, or American problem. It's a worldwide, it's a global problem. We are breathing the same air, even we are somewhere else. And it just, we have to protect our skin. So in 2007, 10 years before this, I was already living in Southern California, and we had horrible wildfires right around my house. We were all evacuated. And we had 4 houses burned down on our street. In our little community here in Claremont, we lost 90 houses. We had 1 death. And the ashes came down like snow in Austria. It was unreal.
That's so frightening.
Skin turned really weird. It started to turn very dry, but in a different kind of dry, in an irritation kind of dryness. And it took me, and I was so little out, because you were not really supposed to be outside. So we were mostly in the hotel. We were evacuated for 7 days. And we had masks on, but my skin was terrible. And so without, at that time, having a lot of clinical studies, because there was really a gap in research. They researched how it affects your heart and your lungs, but the skin was never researched. But I just knew it, being there, that this is terrible. So I went, when I saw 2017, even, we were all in development and everything else, called my husband. I said, now we need to have to take more savings out of our retirement money. I am gonna go back to the lab, and we're gonna have to start on a product that protects from the wildfires, because this is just the start of what's going to happen. With climate change, we're going to get more, and nobody's looking into the skin, and it's terrible for the skin. So now, we are 8 years about later, Margery, and every large research institution, is it Stanford, is it Harvard, is it Mass General, they all came out with big studies in Europe as well. It's terrible for the skin. Everybody's now looking into solution, but as we did clinical research about it, takes 3, 4, 5 years to really create a product. It's not your regular skincare product that you turn around in 6 months that already exists, and you just customize it a little bit. Everything is done on scratch. So, I want to make sure everybody knows, please, please protect your skin. It is not a gimmick. It is not a trendy product we are trying to make money with. I'd never realized, we're getting a lot of pushback on it, how a skincare company can come up with a scientific product. So people think we are taking advantage of the situation, which is the complete opposite we are trying to do. We are trying to introduce something that actually really has value. We won Popular Science Invention of the Year. We won, other awards, but we also had an independent scientific laboratory test it completely itself, and they found it protects 100% the dermis and 100% the epidermis. So we have a special deal today out just to make sure, if you haven't yet gotten it, make sure, and I'm going to look for the image right now of where I have it, make sure you get it. And I realized I forgot to upload it. I had it in my emails uploads. So, have you tried, I'm going to just 1 minute, I get it. Have you tried the, actually, Sarah, you need to email it to our social media email because it was only in the Pour Moi email. Have you tried the smoke alarm drops?
I have tried the smoke drops, and I've also tried the sun drops. Am I getting the name right? I don't have those in front of me.
Sunlight drops and
sunlight
smoke alarm drops. So what's your experience with it?
Well, the smoke alarm we were getting, so in Kansas, they do intentional burns here. They will do grass fire burns, and so we'll have really high smoke days here. And so I always use them. I use the smoke alarm drops then. And then the sunlight drops I use when I'm not going to be out in the sun much, and I just feel like I need sort of that vitamin D like boost, and so I'll use them then. But so I've used both, and my sister lives in Colorado, so I know she's got the smoke alarm drops because you really need them out there.
I'm just trying to locate because I want to show everybody the kit. Yeah, so let's see what questions we have. It's so wonderful that so many people really enjoy the product. Thank you, Deborah. I wanted to see if we have some questions about the fire, and then we go back to the 3 steps questions. Oh, here we go. This is also a good one. Anything special to use after an eye surgery from Pour Moi? So first of all, because we are made in Europe, we do all our products are done, do eye tests. Because American cosmetic doesn't test on eyes. It's not required. But in the EU, premium skincare is. So making sure because a lot of skincare products that you do, eye creams, can be too strong and you don't know it, but it waters your eye or it dries out your eye. That has to do with, the eye cream that you put on. It's affecting, because everything you put in your skin also kind of, it dissolves outside, everything in the, like it's getting, so this can affect your eyes. So Pour Moi is safe. You can put it on. And, the eye surgery, as soon as your doctors allow you to use skincare again, just tap. I would recommend, the white serum is a wonderful serum to use also as an eye cream, and the lip cream, it's the one for the, medium, like for fall perfectly. It's going to be, going to really speed up the healing quite a bit because it has, retinol in it, special, different kinds of peptides and, but at the same time, it is, not, it doesn't have concentration level that could, have negative effects. And that's something that is so interesting to talk about because it's very important to create skincare that actually can do something for you. And sometimes people think when they burn or they get some strong reaction, oh, it's working. And that's actually the worst thing for your skin, because you never want to injure the skin. The skin is your barrier for outside. Even if you do like the tiniest, we were talking about that needle treatments, where people have like
micro
thousands,
needling, yeah.
The needling thing. And I know Elizabeth, believes in acupuncture, but, she doesn't do it every day. And that is the difference, I'm talking about people that every day, use the needle. They have devices and tell you use it every day and then apply the product because it goes deeper into it. You're going to create a lot of scar tissue, because that's what skin does. It repairs itself right away. If you do it, and that's Elizabeth's favorite word, intentionally, then you get really good benefits. It once in a while needles, and they are spread out. There's not a million needles that go into your face. That makes sense, but anytime you injure the skin, it's not a good idea. It's not, products that make you, reddish or peel or, any of these things. You want to have resilient skin. You want to have strong skin. And we just got that question from Joanne saying, what's the difference between the white serum and the blue serum? The blue serum is really for high humidity. And when you have high humidity, you are either very close to the beach and, which is our tropical, you're in a hot, humid environment, or it's overcasted, which then you are in a cool environment. And, the clouds work like a magnifying glass for light. So our blue light has special algae in, which is actually from Japan, that is clinically proven to get more effective when sunlight increases. So it's against photoaging, because, the light also creates lots of signs of aging. We put SPF on to, protect us from the burn and from this, rays to go too deep into our skin to give us a disease or skin cancer, so that's why, we apply SPF. But again, we should apply it intentionally, because after 2 hours, it's like you never applied it, so do not believe the idea that SPF lasts any longer than 2 hours. That's why FDA hasn't approved any other formula yet. There is no real evidence that SPF can be expanded longer than 2 hours. So you need to reapply. You need to use it intentionally when you are in strong sun.
Ulli, one of the things that I really learned from you, and I think this is such an important thing, is that when you take care of your face, when you're taking care of your skin, it shouldn't hurt. And that there are gentle ways to take care of your skin. We had a long conversation the other day about micro needling. And, you can go to any social channel and you'll see people who have picked up their own tool for micro needling, and they're just going up and down their face and then putting something on their face. And I think what I love about the skincare regimen that I follow now, it actually feels good. It's soothing. It's a good habit. And I don't have to injure my own skin to get better skin. I just do, my routine every morning and my routine every night, and then a mask here or there. And I love that we've had such good conversations about the fact that we don't have to injure our skin to have beautiful skin. And I think that's a really powerful message, especially for people who sort of are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, when you start to see the really dramatic changes in your skin. And they happen. I mean, they happen if you're perimenopausal or you're menopausal, your hormones change.
Exactly.
And I think
you cannot do anything for hormones. This is just, it's not a drug. You do not have a drug label in the bag. So the limitations is so important to understand. And if you focus that, it's really the weathered skin, the environment that breaks you down, you can achieve, as I always show, extraordinary
it's amazing.
results.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
No, but you're exactly right. But I get really excited about it because I feel like so many women have done such damage to their skin
Yeah.
because you're desperate. You're desperate to you want your skin to look a certain way, and you think, oh, this is the fastest way to get there. And in a way, I'm grateful that I wasn't looking so much at my skin in my 40s, because I might have been tempted to do some of those, those peels and those things like that. And I really wasn't, because I wasn't paying attention. And now I sort of have a good base to work with. And that's what we've talked about, is that,
Yeah.
you have a good base to work with, because I haven't done a lot of damage from the past. So now I can just really protect where I am now and improve. I mean, I've seen my skin get better in the last year for sure.
And that's the goal, and it gets better and better and better. That's really what Pour Moi is: consistent continuity results. And we have here a really good question from Nancy. Thank you so much. Can I use the white serum all year long? Yes, of course. You can use all the Pour Moi products. They're made very light. It's just that, when it becomes very dry, the white serum will not build enough of a film together, so it's a 3-step process. It's a liquid, which is our hydrating balancer. It's a gel, which is the serum. And then the day creams protect the real surface of the skin and lock it all in to retain the moisture and everything else. So, but it's kind of like clothing. You have in the winter, you take your layers of clothing are going to be more, protective against the cold and the harsh environment outside. And, so when you go outside, you're going to have, a different, a long shirt under your coat and a sweater under your coat. And in the summer, you don't even have a jacket. You have just a light, very light over, only, very thin layers to it. But the white serum you can use on your lips all the time. I think the white serum is the best lip plumber that is out there. Plump your lips. You can, if you prefer, it's a great, for the eye creams in between, to just give you some, in addition. Pour More is, so you need so little of Pour More. So when you get it, it should just last you in addition. So even if you get the black serum and now you're using it to make sure, all your skin works, you can put a dab of the white serum and just put it around your eyes, if that's something you favor. We can customize it to ourselves while we are using, the right regimen against the weather. And we have here, this is really good too. How about light therapy for face?
Oh, that's a great question.
It's a great, great question. And light goes really much, much deeper than skincare goes. So this is not, now we are not comparing any longer apples with oranges. It's kind of like when people get Botox and you read this better than Botox. The Botox goes to your dermis. It's not comparable to skincare. And, if you don't overdo it, I hear wonderful results with red light therapy. Again, it's like everything in life. If you start doing it too much because you like the results and now you say, hey, why don't I do it? It looks so good. Instead of once a month, I'm going to do it once a week. And then I'm going to do it 3 times a week. I can tell you, you're going to get negative results. So it's really the intentional, which is the Elizabeth Rees word, is the very important thing to do. And then you get really, wonderful results with it. If you see the results with it, because it really, red light therapy stimulates your collagen. What Pour More, because what we found in research now, the scientists, not me, but what science found is that the most outer layer of the skin, the stratum corneum, only consisting of dead skin cells. There's no living skin cells in these layers that you have. They have the natural moisturizing factor, and that keeps that. When the so here's how it works. On the basal cells, Margery. This is on the lower level of the epidermis. they still have a nucleus. And then as they move up to the surface, they lose the nucleus and it's replaced by keratin, same as your hair. And the reason why our skin is soft and smooth is because of the natural moisturizing factor. So skin has its own natural moisturizer, you can almost say, and it has, 27 different ingredients, vitamins, hyaluronic acid, amino acids. And, and then it has the humectants in there, draw water from the atmosphere and from your body, and that creates the moisturization process. And then it uses the lipids. Ceramide is the that everybody talks about, but there's 3 different kind of lipids that are in the outer layer. And then together with the hydration, with the water molecules that the humectants, like hyaluronic acid, glycerin, attract, they mix it together, and that's why we are smooth. And if it has too many lipids, then you have oily skin and it starts clogging your pores and you get breakouts. It stretches your pores when you get big pores. Or if you don't have enough, the hydration, then you get dry skin, and then that's a problem. But if you balance the outer layer of the skin, the stratum corneum, and you give the skin with this biomimetic climate smart formulas, the blueprint, and help them to create the right kind of moisturization it should have in that climate. You support it. You don't give it too much, not too little, because if you use the same product, you will eventually give it too much and too little, but you give it always what it actually needs in the environment, then it starts to repair and renew itself, the rejuvenation process. But then they found that the skin cells are actually talking to each other. So you have the skin cells from the upper, there's a communication that they call it signaling. It's cell signaling. And then so they go to the lower level in the dermis and tell them, hey, we're doing really good. And then they it stimulates the skin up down there, as when they signal we are deprived, we are breaking down, then the breakdown signals down to the dermis. So there is a link between the surface and the deeper side of your skin from outside in, and it's called, cell signaling. So
that's a miracle. That's amazing.
The human skin and the human body is a miracle. Amazing. It really is amazing. And on a great thing, not as amazing, is I was able to get it up to show everybody, for protecting your skin. We have an amazing deal just for the next 2 days, because I really want to have everybody get it, which is our Clean Air, Clean Skin Essential Kit. It's our clarifying polish that, is proven to remove, when this, it's really called particulate matter, 2.5 or 5, it's the smoke is 2.5 particulate matter PM. And when they get stuck in your skin and it's not shedded off at night in the shedding process of the skin, then it can, irritate the skin more and move deeper to the skin and, cause all kinds of damage. So that's why regular exfoliation is good for the skin. Everyday exfoliation, not good for the skin, because you do it too much, as we were saying, and that's why French women look so great with their skin. They are moderate in using it, and that allows the skin to, use its own rejuvenation process and look its best. So, if you use the code ALARM50, you will get 50% off. And instead of 84, you get the clarifying polish and the smoke alarm drops. And that will for sure clean your skin in that dirty air, and it will protect your skin 100%, the dermis and the epidermis. And you just put, and I'm going to take this off real quick. You just take, for everybody who doesn't know it, here's the smoke alarm drops, and they have like this milky kind of look to it. And if you are close to the fires, You put it directly on your skin, and it even goes over makeup. It will not look at me. I'm putting it on right now, and you can see it. My makeup stays completely in place. But for prevention, making sure, because we don't see, if you're not close to the fires, you cannot see the smoke in the air really. You put just one drop here, and I always use my hand as my palette, and that's how I don't forget to use my skincare. Otherwise, I would. And I put one pump, literally, because as you said, life is so busy. Then you put a little bit of the skincare of the day cream, and you mix it together, and that's how you use your moisturizer in the morning. And so during wildfire season, you really do protect your skin. This is optimal skin health during wildfire season in the world now. It's not regional anymore. Anywhere, even if you're not close to the fires, this is what you should do.
And should you do that every day? The smoke alarm drops every day?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, starts now, I think May, June, it starts. And then by November, I guess it's over. Yeah.
Well, think about last season, Ulli. Do you remember last season when the smoke was just moving across the country? Remember last year
in Canada? Yeah.
Remember last year in Manhattan, at one point, the skies were red.
Yeah.
And that was all the Canadian smoke coming down. So you're right. It's everybody's problem.
It goes over borders, it's like we are all breathing the same air. We are, there's a clarifying. I don't even have it out here by me.
So Lisa's saying that she loves that. And I have a question for you, Ulli.
Yeah, yes.
So I love the way this feels, but I don't want to overdo it. It just feels good to do. And you were saying we shouldn't do this every day.
No. So if you're in a dry environment, you should use it once or twice a week.
Okay.
So twice a week. If you don't see your brown spots disappearing, if you have some, irritations, use it twice a week in a dry environment or in a dry season.
Okay.
If you are in high humidity, which you are in Kansas now, then you use it 2 to 3 times.
Oh, good. I can do it 3 times a week.
There's more, bacteria in the air, the humidity, is allergens and everything else. You use it 3 times a week. Yes.
Okay.
No,
good.
it's
I love
very
the way it feels.
Yeah, it's real sugar crystals. It's all natural.
It's great.
So it really is wonderful. And we are giving, 2 away. And so here is the game we are playing. We are playing something new, and this is really fun. We are having a baby shower coming up in here in the office with one of our wonderful employees, Taiko. We had her husband in. We made sure she's not watching it. It's going to be tomorrow. And the girls in the office builded a diaper cake. Look how wonderful is this?
Oh, that's adorable.
So now I'm going to put a picture up from this, and everybody make a guess how many diapers are in this amazing diaper cake. And the one who comes, or the 2 that comes the closest, and if we have more, we're going to give more away.
Right.
Make a guess. And then, the wonderful Sarah is going to join us, and she's going to look out, and we'll let you know.
So cute.
So starting now, we give it a minute or 2, and then, we say over, and then Sarah will look into it. And it will be funny. And I see already the numbers coming up. Do you see it? How fun is this? Oh, and I have to, show that.
I can't win anything, but I do want to, I want to put my guess in too.
Please.
Oh, wait. Oh, good. I can count.
Yeah. How many diapers are in? Okay, let's put it away. We do not want to have anybody count.
That's what I was doing. Okay, tell me when I can say my guess.
Okay, yes, now.
Guess now. I would say there are 53. 53
okay,
is my
53. And I think I saw somebody 52, 64, 72, 50. Okay. And we took a picture with me before. So it's totally fair. So people cannot think, they the fair thing is that I took an image before with the number,
Good,
which we were
good.
gonna make up, and I think most people have put in their their.
What's the highest guess, Ulli? What's the
I saw
highest?
142 from
Okay.
Mary. Look at this, 142,
I think that's high.
and yeah, that is high. And I saw it going low to, I think 50 is the lowest that I see.
There you go.
From looking at everybody else that we see, we have 72 with Caroline, and Candice has 150, all, and we have Mary with 96, and Jan with 58, and Shirley with 56, and Mary with 75. So I think we close it, Sarah. Sarah will take a couple of minutes to make sure she counts everybody up. And I am going to put up by closing it, which means I'm going to put up the picture of how many these are. And drum rolls, it is
I like that.
86.
Oh, that's great.
So, Mary, you were close with 75.
Oh, so who's the closest?
Well, that's we're gonna have because we have a lot of people and sometimes it's late and everything else. We want to make sure.
I love that picture. I love that picture.
So now we have our wonderful friends and customers be part a little bit of the baby shower, which I really love because
and she doesn't know. She doesn't know.
So her husband was here taking her out for dinner tonight so that she doesn't look at the Facebook Live event. And, so because this is a surprise baby shower at Pour Moi.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's the kind of place you want to work, is where they make a diaper tower for you. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. That's great.
Thank you. Look at this. I said 87. Give me 5, Laureen. So good. Here we go. Laureen, she got it.
You got it?
She's very close, Susie. You're right. I don't know if anybody got exactly the number, but lots of diaper. I don't think she has to buy diapers for the first week, I would say, and that, is wonderful. I almost spilled a secret now, which I cannot say because it's not official yet, but pretty soon, hopefully, I have an announcement of my flock growing, and that's all I say. Almost spilled out now some news I would have gotten horribly in trouble with.
No, we don't want that.
About babies, huh?
You are just so excited about the shower. Yeah, we don't.
I need to majorly calm down now, right now.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful.
Yes. So let's see how many we get out there. And in the meantime, let's talk about your favorite product. Of wrapping it up, we're going to go a little bit over, but we talked about it already. So let's do one more game here before we are leaving. If the first 3 people that Sarah sees on her side that know and remember the favorite product of the wonderful Margery Punnett. And I hope all of you gonna start, downloading the podcasts because it's so fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
You win 3 of the,
I almost held it up.
So let's see, another chance to win here before we go.
Yes, this one is, and I think it's one of Elizabeth's favorites as well because of the smell. We love the smell of it. I'm giving a clue now. So,
yes. Oh, and I think once we have everybody here, we bring Sarah, but I think Pour Moi already declared a winner, but we're going to give away two. So we need to know who came close after Laureen, Sarah, and then we bring you on to announce. But congratulations, Laureen. We, get it out to you right away. Make sure, in our, Facebook messages to send us your address and, enjoy. And, let us know if you have any questions. And we are getting everybody asking, answering it. It's wonderful. And Sarah, give us the sum up when you know who are the two with the mask and who is the second person for the clean skin, clean air kit. And now we can reveal it. It is the Blue Light Defender, the botanical, reversal mask. And if you say Blue Light Defender, the blue light mask, it will count, of course.
Do you know,
because
Ulli,
calling
Elizabeth,
me Ulli, real name is Ulrike, so,
Elizabeth makes fun of me because she says she can always tell when I've done the mask right before we go to record the podcast. Because my face is so glowy.
She was telling me once you had it on during the podcast.
I did.
That was before you did.
I did.
So I want to tell everybody a secret with this. This is how when you go to a special event, we did it when we were promoting this year, we were the chosen skincare for the Academy Awards. And we were, with KTLA together. It was wonderful. And if you want to have a special night and you want to have your makeup just stay in place and look extraordinary, use the clarifying polish first. Then use the botanical mask for 1 minute, very quickly, just a minute.
Oh, interesting.
Take it off very quickly because it has very strong peptides to lift the skin. And they're going to diminish in some ways when you have it too long on because it's the protection that we are working on, but it can be used as the most best application for makeup. And then once you take it off, you don't use the day cream or anything anymore. You just take the raindrops. You put, 1 or 2 raindrops, you pat it on it, then you apply the makeup. You will look spectacular with the makeup. It will never cake up. It will never look, too much, too little. And did you see, like lately with this better TV screens and everything else, you see so many people with their, getting their skin gets dry, especially in California. You're not going to have anything like this with more. So in the Midwest, when the winter comes and you go to Christmas, to winter events and Christmas parties, this is how you're going to make it look spectacular.
Just 1 minute, though. Just 1 minute with this.
A minute, give it a little bit, and it will
that's
go
great.
on.
Okay, yes, that's great.
And Sarah has her sum up. Hello, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi, everybody. How's it going? What a fun, interactive Facebook Live tonight. I've had lots of questions. It's been great talking with everybody.
Thank you. And you were answering everything and doing such a good job.
Typing fast.
Okay,
so we'll finish up with the diaper cake contest. We have Laureen Mattinen. Obviously, we know that she was a winner with the closest, just missed it by 1. And then Shirley Shelley was the next winner for that. And she picked 95, which is a difference of 9. There was some other very close ones, but Shirley Shelley's our second winner of the diaper cake contest.
Yes. And
now we are doing
to find her, Shirley.
And
we have one Shirley. She was with 56.
Shirley Burton Shelley.
She is. Congratulations, Shirley. Enjoy.
And now we're doing 2 of the other ones, correct?
Correctamente.
All right. So for the guessing of Margery's favorite product, it's Candace Nyberg came in with a first response.
Yay, Candace.
And then Liz Stats came in with a second response.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. And we have Candace. Let's see. Defender gel. Is it that?
Yep. Yep.
Here we go. Congratulations, Candace. Enjoy and try that
I love
clarifying
that.
polish mask. You know, we did a whole show in, you know, like we did a whole kit in March, I think early March, when
Right.
the Academy Awards were over, and showed people how to do it. And you know, and we're gonna put this on Facebook again. So I'm gonna, you know, after the show is done, we're gonna try to find it and put it on Facebook so everybody can see how it works.
Ulli, what's the longest that I can keep this on?
You know, 10 minutes. I
Okay.
mean, you can keep, there's nothing that's going to irritate you, you know, and it's never going to dry down. But
Right.
10 minutes is a good thing. As we said, you don't want to overdo anything skincare wise for your skin.
Because I love the way it feels. That's good. 10
Yeah.
minutes. Okay.
Yes, 10
Thank you.
minutes is the optimal. So let's see, Sarah, who is lucky winner number 2?
Liz Stats. And just as a reminder to everybody, Ulli has me do a screenshot of what I see on my screen as to the order of the responses, because everybody sees something a little bit different,
Yeah,
and it can be confusing. So we go by my screen, and I took a screenshot of what I see just so that you all know.
Yes. So thank you so much. We're trying to you know, make it as fair as everybody. Oh, I'm so happy, Candice. Yes, I was so happy you won. Next time, hopefully, you know, when you come back, you know, we're going to have more and more winners. I'm going to put it up again because we have a lot of really, really special deals. So, you know, again, reminder, 50% off with Alarm 50 for, you know, our, you know, the smoke alarm drops and the clarifying polish, which we were talking about with the, you know, with the drops. And then we have also 30%, you know, store-wide with Convo for conversation 30, because our Shopify shopping cart does not allow for 2 coupon codes. So you either buy, you know, if you can use them both in making 2 transactions, different ones. But when you check out, you can only use 1 code at a time. So I just want to make sure I clarify it. And with this, we came to the end of our show. I am so grateful for everybody that joined us. Especially thank you to you, Margery. You are such a special person. And, you know, I'm so, and, you know, so feel so lucky that we were asked Pour Moi to be a sponsor of Best to the Nest, because you know, you're already so successful with it. You were telling me you're already, you know, in the top 10 of your category. So now, of course, everybody wants to sponsor once something is successful. But we, you know, came in early, and we are so happy and proud that with such, you know, wonderful podcast that, you know, we can, you know, we're allowed to be part of it. And that's really, really great. So
and we feel honored to be able to talk about you. We love women that innovate, and you are one of the most original innovators I have ever met. And so we feel grateful that you're a part of our show.
Well, thank you so much. And I wish everybody a safe night, a wonderful night, you know, and together, you know, we are going to take one challenge at a time, and we're going to, you know, remember the principle of the Punnett household, which is bring your best self home. I think this is so unique and so wonderful. We will remember it, and we will keep on letting people know about it and remind them. You know, prioritize your health. You know, I always like it in the airplanes when they say you have to put the mask first of you and then to anybody else, because if you cannot, you know, take care of yourself first, you can't obviously not take care of anybody else. You're going to break down. And we should remember that too. And with our changing environment, which, it gets harsher, it gets difficult. But, if we work together, we will overcome anything, and we will make smart solutions because it's smart inventors out there and we use it the right way. I believe we will, it's just, it's time for different kinds of products. It's times of different kinds of thinking, of how we address this, climate change issues. Sometimes it's less of everything for our planet, in this spirit. I say good night to everybody, and thank you so much for all the love you give to Pour Moi. Bye-bye.
Good night. Good night.
Good night. Sarah, you still on?
Good night. I'm working hard.
Yes. Well, you always do. And here we go. And we say goodbye.